And welcome back to another episode of Building the Board. It is now 3 days since we completed our big board right here in front of you. If you missed that episode, make sure to go check it out. A lot of good conversation about why the Bears are interested in what prospects at what picks and like what their actual board could look like. It's also published over at ontapsportsnet.com. So make sure you go check that out. My name is Quentin Crisco. This evening, I am joined by Steve Letizia and Samir Patel. And Steve and myself, we're scouts. Samir, I got to adjust him back up to the top of the screen here because he's the top dog, top of the totem pole. He is Ryan Poles. Samir, Mr. Poles, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, we're doing great. We've been waiting for this day, since the end of last season, to be honest. Looking forward to this draft. We're in a position where we're coming off a good season. We feel like we're close. I'm excited to get another draft class under my belt and see if we can, I said we were going to take the North and never give it back. So we can't give it back now. Need another strong draft class. So that's where I'm going to rely on you guys to kind of help me figure out what we need and when the best player is to take.
Yeah. And so I'm not sure if I said it. We're doing a mock draft. Samir is Ryan Poles. We're never giving the North back. That's the goal here. So, considering what the Bears' offseason has looked like, we really need to hit a home run on this draft. Right? But we're going to be using the PFSN simulator. And, Steve, how rude of me. How are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing great. This is my favorite exercise every year because we spend so much time, watching the tape. We spend so much time putting the board together. And now we get to fight for our guys. We have our board together as a group, but all of us have our own guys as well. So I really like the conversations that kind of come out of that. And, it's never going to simulate the actual, draft day experience of the Bears, but we get as close as we possibly can. So it's really fun.
Absolutely. So we'll be using the PFSN mock draft simulator here. And, I like the fact this one like offers you so many trade options. Like you need to be kind of realistic with it. Like you can't take all the trades, but like, it's nice that they just toss them to you like that and let you kind of decide, is this fair or is this, because sometimes they're not that good at trades. But
no.
With that being said, well, Samir, I guess, first of all, is there any scenario where you're interested in trading up? And I'll pull up our trade up, like our tier of players who we have deemed worthy of considering a trade up for. It doesn't mean we're interested in trading up, but is there before I start the mock and let it run through the first 24 picks, I want to make sure we don't have an idea in mind of like if Monroe Freeling's available at 16, we should make some phone calls or anything.
No, I don't think so. I think unless you get somebody like even a Bailey, right? If he falls out of the top 10 or 12, maybe I'm interested. But I think a lot of other teams would be interested too. But I'm Ryan Poles. I'm not going to give up a ton of draft capital to move up to, and to me, like, yes, there is some definite 5-star players here. I just don't know if any of them fall outside of a range where the Bears wouldn't have to totally mortgage the rest of their draft and some of next year's to go get them. So I don't see a scenario in which we would be trading up here.
Okay, then we just get to get this thing rolling, start the clock.
Let's start the clock. Let's see who we got.
All right.
Well, that does go fast.
Yeah. Should I? You know what? I'm gonna make it go slower. Yeah. In case you want to trade later. That was part of the reason I said it there. I was like, because then I'll do it fast. But now I'm realizing if we want to trade later, we probably want some options.
Yeah. No, I think that's smart.
Okay, so now we are on the clock.
This is good. Whoa, yeah. Caleb Downs, number 2, the Jets.
Wow.
The Jets would do that.
Jeremiah Love. Okay, there we go.
Styles. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Wow. The Chiefs getting – all right. See, Spencer Fano dropping to 16.
Oh.
That could have been –
Tianeman could have been.
All right. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
So before we get into trades, I think we should look at the board.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should know who's available. And so I'm going to go ahead and split screen these so that we can look at our board while we look at what's available here. If we get these ads.
And then should we also mention the big Dexy Rexy, sexy Dexy, whatever we're calling him. Dexter
Yeah.
Lawrence, a possibility. I'm a big Dexter Lawrence fan. I think that if the Giants want to take 25 and, even like a conditional third next year, I would do something like that. I think for the purposes of this exercise, we're probably not going to speculate a trade there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely all over, Dexter Lawrence. I think, he's a guy who changes the complete complexion of your defensive line. He allows you to do so much. So, like, if he is truly available, which it seems like he is, I think, and if they want 25, I'd be more than happy to give that to them. I mean, especially in this draft class, it's a weak draft class. It's just kind of the way it is. Everyone kind of acknowledges that. So you pick 25, yeah, it's a first round pick, but it's a late first round pick in a weak draft. There's no sure things there. And to be honest, it's a weak defensive tackle draft, especially kind of with the defensive tackles that fit the Bears. It just makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I don't understand people's aversion to it. The Chicago Bears just were one game away from the NFC Championship. Their defense needs a lot of help. They did not add a lot this offseason to really improve it. And a blue chip player goes a long way towards that. I think that there's some aversion to enter a true contention window because people think that you can't ever build a team and go for it. And, I live in Philadelphia. I see Howie Roseman do this every year. Like, you got to go for it at some levels. That doesn't mean be irresponsible and trade a bunch of future picks in the process. But if you can get a player like Dexter Lawrence for pick 25 this year in a draft that's really pretty weak, I'm here for it.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's that $30 million price tag, right? Right, guys? That's that $30 million price tag. I think that scares people off more than the draft compensation.
That's the cost,
Steve.
Yeah. Right. And I think it made sense. Like if you were against the Max Crosby trade, like I kind of more understood that because you're giving up 2 first round picks, first of all. So and you have to give him a contract and he has an injury history and he's been declined the last couple of years. Like that one, like even though I was all for it if they decided to do that, I understood the aversion to that a little bit more. But when you're giving up just one pick for a guy or one pick and the pick swap later on, whatever it ends up being, for a guy who's in his prime still, I don't understand why people are against it.
Like he's a year older than Milton Williams. I'd rather have Dexter Lawrence at that salary than Milton Williams at his salary.
Yes, I agree.
It's just the cost of that defensive tackle now, stud defensive tackle. Like I mean,
and Leonard Williams, I was looking this up today, is a free agent after this year. He's at 21.5. If you give Dexter Lawrence $30 million, Leonard Williams is going to get $31 million next year. So that's just kind of the way it is. So and he's 4 years older than Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, I don't get the aversion to it. I don't think we're going to do it here and now because we want to look at the draft purpose. But if you can get him for 25, I have a really hard time not just pulling the trigger on it. And maybe it costs more than that, and that's why. But I don't know. I think that's an easy decision considering where the Bears are in their development and what this draft looks like.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So what do we got? What do we got here at 25?
All our tier 1 guys are gone.
Okay. Makes sense.
Figured that would happen. Yeah.
So our next tier is run the card in at 25 for these guys. So let's take a look at them.
All right. What do we got, Scouts?
What do we got?
Top of our board is Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain is gone, I believe. Let's double check.
Bain went.
Yeah,
Bain's gone. Bain's gone.
So
Thieneman was gone. Aone was gone. I remember seeing all 3 of those.
Colton Hood, top of our board.
Okay.
That is our top guy. I mean, I'll just start off talking about him because I love this player. He's a press man corner, gonna fit Dennis Allen's scheme wonderfully. He's the nephew of Roderick Hood, former NFL corner. Roderick Hood also trained Patrick Peterson and trained Colton Hood. Kind of a good combo right there. This kid knows what it's like to be in the NFL. He's watched it close up in his family. He's a sophomore. He's like 20 years old right now. Like a true sophomore this year, I believe. He started for 2 years at Tennessee. He's that true blue chip talent coming into Tennessee, being able to start as an SEC corner from day one, being able to jump to the league at this young age. Like, truly, I flipped on Jermod McCoy's tape and I was like, it's good. I like it. But like I had some questions about his physicality and how much he likes contact. I flipped on Colton Hood's tape. I was like, I like this dude better than Jermod McCoy. But like I just think that he has the goods, and I'm very interested in his ability to jump into this defense and really be a contributor from day one. I think that he is a guy who's you're going to start at corner and not look back from drafting him. And I think that Dennis Allen's going to love him. I think that he's probably kind of streamlined into a man role right now, but I don't think he is at all in his future. I think he's still learning some zone techniques and some feel for zone coverages, but I think that you're going to be able to really grow and get creative with this kid. Like Dennis Allen wants to get weird with his back end coverages.
Okay. Yeah, a DA plays a lot of man, right? So
he does, but also he wants his corners to be able, like, this is the Tyreek Stevenson problem, right? Tyreek Stevenson is very good at man coverage. Mm-hmm. Tyreek Stevenson is awful at zone coverage. Dennis Allen wants to be able to ask his outside corner to play a deep half in Tampa too, like a safety. He wants to be able to ask his outside corner to do all these different things. Even though it's primarily man he's going to be asked to do, he wants the full menu open. He wants to get to inverted Tampa 2 looks where he's asking the nickel corner to play the Urlacher role and asking his outside corner to go from the line of scrimmage to a deep half. And like, he wants them to do weird things. I think Colton Hood's going to get there as a football player because he's still so young and already so good.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, Colton Hood, like, Q, you nailed the evaluation, so I don't really have much more to add there. I think he would be a fit for Dennis Allen and does a lot of good things, but is cornerback like the biggest need for the Bears, at this time? And so, we have other guys in the same tier. Like, I'm not going to advocate to go down a tier, but we have other guys that are still available in this tier that maybe might fit a better need. I'm not sure if Fano is there. Is he? Yeah, it looks like he's probably gone. McCoy's gone, but I'm going to guess that Malachi Lawrence and Max Iheanacho are still there. Yeah, there's Max, and I'm going to guess that Malachi Lawrence is still there. I mean, in my mind, Malachi Lawrence, he's a little bit lower on our board. The grade is a little bit lower, but he's in the same tier, and he fits a bigger need for the Bears. The Bears have no pass rush right now. They got Tyreek Stevenson there. They got Zoff Frazier. They drafted him last year. I know it was a late round pick, so you can't really count on him, but he's in the building. I think they have guys at that second corner position. They really don't have any pass rush, especially off the edge. So Malachi Lawrence, even though he's lower on our board, gives you that pass rush, the elite athleticism that you need to have at the position to be a successful pass rusher in the NFL. Remember, not every elite athlete is a great pass rusher, but every great pass rusher is an elite athlete. And that's what Malachi Lawrence is. That's what he gives you. That's really what the Bears need on the defensive line. I know a lot of people think it's early for him. I probably think it's a little bit early for him too, but I think, he's the other guy I'm looking at here. I'm not opposed to Colton Hood. That's just my pitch for Malachi Lawrence.
No, thanks, Scouts, for going over your guys here in where we're at. It seems to me like both of these players nobody's really fallen to us, right? Colton Hood or Malachi Lawrence. Neither has really fallen into our lap, it seems. And looking at the depth chart here, I think both are positions of need here. We let Nahshon Wright walk. We signed Cam Lewis, more of a safety. Now, like you guys were saying, Zoff Frazier, where's his head at? Terrell Smith is coming back from a pretty big injury. I think the Bears do need a corner. Now, is corner a deeper class this year that we don't have to necessarily spend our first-round pick on Colton Hood? Maybe we can get another corner later. Malachi Lawrence, I think we can probably see what that trade down looks like. What are our trade options that we've got right now from the phone ringing?
Let's see, and I pulled up your cornerback options throughout the draft for my board here for you to get an idea of where we think you can get those guys. Let's see. Let's take a look at the trade offers. Oh, that is not on the screen. There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't like that one.
No, I don't like that one.
Yeah, that's a little too far
too
down,
far.
moving down to 62 without
Yeah.
like a lot. If you want to stock up on 2027 capital, though,
I was gonna say, like in real life, the 2027 draft is supposedly
Yes.
better. I know everyone always says that about next year's draft,
Mhm.
but like that's not a terrible trade because you get some. But for this exercise, I feel like it would be
For this exercise, it'd be it'd be cheapening the podcast,
cheapening the
a little
fan
bit.
experience. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so next one we'd be moving down to 45, picking up pick 80, and then 2027 second and 27 sixth.
That's
A little
actually
bit
not
better.
bad in real life, but I'm still too far back right now. Let's see what else we got.
Okay, the Bengals are offering to move back to 41. We'll pick up 72 in the third rounder next year.
So if we let's so you see Malachi Lawrence there is 48th on their board, so that's where he will kind of the range that he would go. So you could trade back and still get one of our tier 2 guys. Most likely, it's a little bit of a risk, but we got some wiggle room there. So if you could trade back and get one of our tier 2 guys, I think we had another tier 2 guy, Max Natcher. I don't know where he is on the PFSN board, but he's probably a little bit farther back. If you trade back to 41, possible you can get one of those guys. I don't know. Let's see where he is. He's 32, so probably not.
Probably not.
But maybe we can explore a trade. Do we want to propose a trade? Could we trade down to 32 or 31 or 33, something like that? I don't know if that's something we want to do in this.
Was that the last trade? Was that the last trade offer, Q?
Yes. Yeah. You have the Baltimore one and the Cincy one that we didn't totally, shake our heads at.
Oh man. All right. Let's see. I think
you'll be able to get Malachi Lawrence at 41 in this exercise. I'm not sold in real life, but like in this exercise, I think you'll get him there.
Yeah. So it depends, like how, because I do agree in real life, I don't think he's getting out of the first round. So how true, if we want to be true to this, but this is the consensus board. So maybe we're completely off base there. Maybe he will get into the 30s at least. And if you 41's not that far off. So you guys always drop.
I feel like, so
depends how we want to do this.
If we go back to 41, Lawrence is our target.
Mm-hmm.
But
we'd have
who are we comfortable with in tier 3?
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of weight on one name where it's just like, if you want that guy, you shouldn't trade back.
Right. I think Miller
I feel like
have a chance to be there.
Yeah, he might.
Where is he?
All right.
D tackle.
Looks like Mesidor's already gone.
Mesidor's gone. Falk is gone.
Peter Woods is still there, but he'll
Miller's
probably be gone in this. Yeah, Miller.
Lumu's gone. Oh no, Lumu's on the board.
Yeah,
but so he'll be gone. Proctor's gone.
He'll probably be gone. And then Falk. Is Falk already gone? Yeah,
I think Falk's I saw him go.
Yeah. So you're talking
saying,
Kristen Miller.
Kristen Miller and Malachi Lawrence would be like the two guys who might be on the board. That's what I'm saying. Like, what if we traded down to like 35 or something like that? Then we're pretty much guaranteed one of those guys is going to be on the board.
So like with Tennessee?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, a team around there. And I think if we do this, we also have to see who's on board. I mean, Caleb Lomu is the guy who's on the board. Who's the is there a team who needs a left tackle? Maybe. Or a team that needs maybe has Caden McDonald higher on the board.
Tennessee
is there someone
left tackle?
Yeah, is there someone here who a team would trade up for? I could see a team trade up for Caleb Lomu. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So Titans make sense.
Well, let's see if the Titans want to play ball here.
Yeah, because if
they don't, then
if I was Ryan Poles, I would try to move back from 25 there. I don't know if the value's there.
Yeah. Even if they just give could we do like 80, we give up 89 and they give us 66? How does that work?
They accept a lot of trades. They accept a lot of trades. In
let me pull up the trade calculator.
Yeah,
I always pull up. Here, I got one. So if we don't want to have another window open, you got it.
I got it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how. I haven't really used this one much, but
There. Is this a trade calculator or is this an NFL draft? Okay, never mind.
yeah.
No, I think it's a
So we did.
trade calculator. Yeah.
There we go.
What weird order is that team listing in?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I think it's draft order.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess that checks.
That makes
So
sense.
we
Yeah.
So yeah, we give
that.
up 25.
Give up 25. We're getting 66 back.
Give them
And
89.
we're giving them 89.
Let's just see what that's at.
Says that the Titans win it by 19 points. I think this is using the Spielberger chart.
Yeah. So throw in 101. See what that if that does that get it closer. Oh no. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's way too much.
Is that, Steve,
So
what's
maybe-
the site? What's the site that you were saying you use?
I
Is
just
that like
use the calculator soup is what it's called. Let me see. So we do 25. Here, I got it up. I can do 25 to 35, and then we give up 89 and 6. Then they get 66, and we get 66 back. That is, we give up more value, 865 to 810.
Okay, I think that's fair. We're giving up a
Yeah,
little
I mean,
extra.
Maybe I would say maybe could we get like 184 or something? I don't know. Oh, we don't really have to. We just,
I think we're
mean,
the ones calling them. We got to give a bit of a premium.
Yeah. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
fine with doing
That's
this
fine.
trade.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
I think
Still
more
get the
draft
guys
picks
we
is-
want.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have told us right here. The values.
Oh,
Okay. It has been accepted.
so now we're
They-
looking at Malachi Lawrence or Chris.
They took Peter Wood. They took Peter Woods.
Okay, well we can't control who they take.
That's funny though.
Is Lomo still on the board? Okay, I wouldn't trade again, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Cold Hood, so Cold Hood's still there, and also in Lawrence is there, so we still have that same, and Chris Miller, so we still have that same conversation.
Okay, so we did good there, actually, because I think our tier twos are still there, right?
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
Hood and
so-
Lawrence as our tier twos still there.
Right. So I think at this point, I'm going to take the higher rated player getting value this far back in the draft. So if I was Ryan Poles, I would take the highest rated player on my board at that spot. Because while I do think defensive end might be a bigger need than cornerback, I view them both as needs for this team. So much like Colston Loveland, at 10, I think I would go with Colton Hood if he's the higher rated player on my big board at this spot.
All right,
All
you're
right.
the boss.
Lock it in.
All right.
Colton Hood
Maybe
is a
Lawrence will be
Chicago
there
Bear.
at 57. You never know. It's not crazy. Welcome to Chicago from the Hood.
God, they have Akis over Lawrence on the consensus now.
Really? Okay. Well, he's
Yeah.
still there. Come on, hold out. That's really unrealistic, though. I don't even know if we should take him.
I was going to say, do we want to move up 3 picks? But let's not. I don't think there's
Yeah.
a chance he lasts this long.
But
Wow.
like,
There he goes. Oh,
too bad.
2 picks before we were going to go. Okay.
Okay, so let's see. Let's clear out the tier 2 guys because they're all gone.
Yep.
Tier 3 guys all gone. Yeah, these guys are all gone.
Miller went. Yeah, I saw Miller go.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on to our tier 4 players.
And what was our tier 4 again? It was what was like the category?
It
Tier
was.
4 is trade down or up between 26 and 57.
Okay.
So we weren't expecting these guys to get to 57, but they might
Got it.
be there.
Okay. All right. So at this point, we need a starting safety because right now I don't know who the others. Cam Lewis is the other starting safety, but man, we just spent a pick on a cornerback. I don't know if I want to double up on the secondary.
That was a run on edge rushers.
It
Yeah.
was.
So we're not getting our premier edge then. We're not getting it in
no,
this class.
I think at this point we got it. Yeah, the board didn't break our way. We got to just pivot.
Yeah. Tell me about Hunter. He's your Texas Tech guy, right? He doesn't fit what we want to do, does he?
He's just not really I don't think DA is going to use him. We can
Yeah.
take him. I'll love it. I'd love having the guy on the team. I just don't think Dennis Allen's going to use him because it doesn't fit what he's trying to do with his defense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He fits more of an odd front, true nose tackle who can provide you a little juice. I honestly think my highest upside comp for him is like Akeem Hicks. He might take some time to develop in the league and like figure himself out, but if he does ever figure his power out, he can be dominant. But Akeem Hicks doesn't. Dennis Allen traded Akeem Hicks, literally.
Yeah, he did. Us. Yeah, to us, and he had a pretty good career with us.
Oh no, that's not what happened. No, we signed him. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, he traded him to the Patriots, and then the Patriots let him walk, and Ryan Pace signed him. But
this board did not fall in our favor, though.
We're looking at Conception's gone. I mean, we don't care about receiver. We just don't. Jacob Rodriguez is gone. EMW's gone. CJ Allen.
Price might be there, but I don't know.
No, Price got taken a pick right before us.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, right. He did. Okay.
We don't need another corner. Caden McDonald's gone. Gabe Ack is gone. So this whole tier is gone. We're on a tier 5.
Okay. Tier 5. And tier 5 is we would take at 57, 60. So that's okay. I'm sure
this is where we're at.
There.
This is tier 5 is just they are our second round picks.
Yeah.
We didn't expect the tier 4 guys to be there. We were just hoping they might be. I'm just gonna go ahead and take tight ends and receivers out of the equation here.
Might as well do
a little too early.
Yeah.
Although I see that trade on Stooks is listed as a corner here. He's really a safety. So
I'll keep corner on just because there's so much. Yeah. So Caleb Banks is gone. Jake Golday is a guy who we had. He's probably the highest we had. He's gone. Okay.
He's gone.
So Stooks is our top player here. He is a safety. He's a nickel cornerback / safety. He's probably played more reps at nickel, but me personally, I think that I don't think he'll have a major issue moving to safety. Our safety scout, who is, couldn't come to the office today because he has kids, understandable family. We're all about family at the Chicago Bears, but he does have some slight concerns about Stooks' ability to make that transition to full-time safety. The other scouts have given him some pushback on this, but he is the expert at the position. So we want to make sure we mention that. Now, Stooks will be 25 by the time the season starts. This is an AARP card guy. And that's really the biggest knock on him because multiple others and myself have said this is first round tape, but he's going to be 25. And there are moments on tape where you, especially against the run, where you literally sit there going, well, that's a grown ass man bullying kids. It's just grown man strength, grown man confidence out there against 21, 22-year-olds. Like there is a difference. So that's the only major knock on him in my mind. Otherwise, I mean, he's a freak athlete, 9.95 RAS score, which makes me feel pretty good about his longevity because even if he loses a step at safety in 5 years, I still feel like he can play safety.
Yeah. I mean, look at we just let Kevin Byard go, right? At 31, he had the best year of his career.
Yeah.
I think safeties age better than maybe other positions do. I mean, look at Harrison Smith on the Vikings as well. Like these guys, if they're smart and they're heady, obviously there's some tackling and stuff involved there, but they don't really take as much abuse as like Akeem Messidor at 25, right? Maybe he gets a little bit more beat up or he's hunting on the kids a little bit. He looks a lot bigger because he's always going up against younger players than somebody like Stooks is. So the Bears do need a safety. I'm not sure if he can fit. Our safety expert is not here. And it doesn't look like we have a ton of other options there, do we? I don't know. How do you guys feel about, I know we haven't addressed the offensive line at all yet. I know we've got a couple players here. It looks like just Hecht and Rutledge. Are any of them available here?
Well, do you want to go on to O-line here? Or do you want to keep going with safeties? We do have 2 other safeties available in this cloud here.
Mm.
So
yeah, I mean, safety. I mean, safety is obviously a huge need. We drafted a cornerback already, but I think we still need a safety. With me on Stukes, I have a lot more confidence in him being a safety in the NFL. I actually prefer him at safety than I do, slot cornerback. I think, but Q, we've talked about this. We kind of view him as a safety who can play in the slot rather than a slot who can play safety. So I think we feel really good about him there, and the athleticism. The age is a concern for sure, but I feel less, kind of like Samir, what you were saying. I feel less concerned about a safety being 25 than I do a defensive lineman. And also, I feel less concerned about a second-round player being 25 than I do a first-round player being 25.
Touche.
So,
all right.
I like him as well.
I like Stukes too.
Safety. Yeah.
I will.
Also,
I think I just would like to point out Halsey's here, Stukes is here, Zakee Wheatley's here, and our safety scout would bang the table for Zakee Wheatley.
And we can probably get him later. So
that's where we have picked 66 and 60 here. I kind of feel like we can wait on safety.
Okay. I guess it depends who else is available.
Yeah, let's go to all players. Let's see what is the position of strength here. What are we getting at? Okay.
It does seem like safety is the position of strength.
Yeah, it does.
Where was Anthony? Was Anthony Hill tier 6 for us?
Yeah, I mean, okay. Probably because he's not very good. So.
Okay, so outside of that, Zion Young's got to be gone, right?
Yeah, I think he's gone.
Yeah,
is Trotter still available? Because Trotter, I think, is he available? He is available. So that's
Trotter's man.
If we go,
Coach Johnson said
linebacker, safety right off the bat. No defensive lineman with our first 3 picks, but hey, where the board fell.
People are gonna riot and be like, "Do this over again."
Coach Johnson said that they're targeting some train killers.
Yeah,
that's Josiah Trotter. This dude's here to hit. Mm-hmm. He's here to hit. He's here to let you know that he's there and he's physical and he's ready to punch you in the mouth. Like, don't ask him to cover too much, but like, this dude can play. This dude can ball, and for the way that Dennis Allen likes his linebackers to play, I do think he's a fit. The only question is, can he and Devin Bush coexist as two very downhill players who don't really move backwards?
Yeah, that might be a difficult fit. But man, I like the player, and I think the Bears would like the player. And it's not. I even think that Bush could play weak side while Trotter could play the Mike. But you're right; they're just very both downhill players. You don't want them in coverage. But man, Trotter would. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, which you'll take over Tremaine Edmonds at Mike again,
right? I mean, it's not like they had. I mean, I feel like Trotter is so young. He's 20 years old. He has a pedigree. His dad obviously played in the NFL for a long time. Yeah. His brother plays in the NFL now. He's got that pedigree. He's so young. I think we should right now. Yeah, he might be a liability in coverage, but you got to hope that he can get there with time, and become a better coverage player because he's just so young. He just needs more experience there. So I think that makes. I mean, we're in the second round here. I think he makes a lot of sense.
Honestly, guys,
linebacker is a big I view linebacker as a need for the Bears. I mean, you have Devin Bush, but TJ Edwards is hurt and old and slow. Like, you need to replace him.
And Noah Sewell's coming off an injury. Yeah, Ruben Hippolyte he's doing cardio out there. They decided Sanborn, but he is what he is.
Yeah,
guys, based on the way the board has fallen, I would lean towards Trotter here and then see which safety is available 4 picks later, because it seems like there's 3 or 4 safeties that we like and we're picking again in 3 or 4 picks. So
can we just look at Halton real quick, because he's the only defensive lineman that's available on our board, whereas he's at 78, so he is maybe someone we could go with like 66, still get
just to get
because we can't leave these next couple picks without getting some defensive lineman.
Right.
Yeah. I agree.
I think I'm comfortable going. I feel like Trotter is the end of a tier here. I mean, so is probably Halton for us, but
Here's the other thing. So so right now we have 57, 60, and 66. So it's kind of a group. We're gonna get a kind of a group here. So let's think about it rather than one pick at a time. Like which guys we can get. We can go Trotter and then a safety and then Halton, but also we have Sam Hecht in here too. So I think those are the kind of the four positions: safety, linebacker, center, and defensive lineman. I think we have to get a defensive lineman in there. Let's pencil that in. I would say that's my opinion. I would say that.
Yeah.
And then which of the position are you okay with waiting on? Safety, cornerback, safety, center, or linebacker? Which one of those positions are you okay waiting to 89 for?
I would think linebacker just because of the value of that position and the fact that we don't have another center behind Bradbury, and that's obviously a need. We need a defensive lineman. And a safety. And we don't have a starting safety outside of Cam Lewis. So
to me though, the linebacker drop off after Trotter is pretty steep. We've already said Kyle Lewis
is it
kind of, and the drop off at center is not as steep. If we can get a Logan Jones later or Jake Slaughter later, I think that could make sense.
We've only got like 5 linebackers left, even with a top 100 grade.
Okay. Well, then I would reach for Trotter just to make sure we get somebody of value at that position, and then I would probably wait on center because I think Parker Brailsford's still down there, right? And what's that guy's name? Connor
Logan Jones, and
There's I'm fine with waiting day 3 for centers.
Especially for a guy who you know is going to sit a year essentially.
I'm probably more concerned than that with a developmental left tackle.
Yeah, I think I said this the last time. I think if the Bears are left tackle is certainly in play at 25. If the Bears don't draft a left tackle at 25, I don't think they take one until day 3. I think they kind of pass on that middle group.
Yeah.
So how do we feel?
The struggle is we just have so few day 3 picks.
Yeah.
Guys, I just signed Braxton Jones and Jedrick Willis. What do you mean you're telling me to draft another left tackle? We got that. We got those 2 guys. We got Theo. Yeah. He's played some. I drafted Kieran last year.
That's what I'm saying.
We're okay for a year, aren't we?
I don't think we need to draft anyone to compete with those guys. You only draft someone if you think he's going to come in and be much better than the guys you already have. That's why I said you do it at 25 or not at all.
Okay. So, Samir, what are we doing here?
I'm going to go with, I know Trotter's a little bit of a reach here just based on the numbers, but I'd rather take a player that is an impact player at that position. And I think we'll have options still at 60 for safety. So let's go with
Poles. No disrespect.
Let's go with Trotter.
But Trotter's number 47 on our board. We're getting him at 57.
All right. Well, then let's do it. Let's do it.
Perfect.
This is how we all thought it would go. Cornerback, linebacker.
Right. Now Stooks is still on the board. To me, I think he's the highest guy on our board, and he's the highest guy on one of the highest guys on the PFSN board. To me, that's the pick. Should we talk about Halsey just to talk about more guys?
Well, here's the thing: we got an interesting trade offer that I think we should take a look at. We're getting offered to move back 1 spot, and we're picking up an extra pick next year. Oh, we have to give up 239. For the sake of this exercise, probably just reject that. Okay.
So Halsey's on the board too. Halsey is another good safety, but sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Poles, don't you think we should at least counter to try to get a day 3 pick?
Touche,
move down 1 spot.
Yeah, clear that out. Just do 60 for 61, and then give us like 251 or 232 or something.
207,
probably 207, maybe. I don't know. Does that work?
Yeah, it's likely to accept.
Sure, why not? We just get to talk about more people. That's great.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's pretty close. I like it. That's why we pay you the big bucks, Q.
Let's keep going. All right,
I feel like that one was fair, but let's not get over the top.
Yeah.
Let's not get too greedy. So if we're looking safety, so Stooks is still on the board. We've talked about Halsey's on the board as well. I still like AJ Halsey a lot. I do question if Dennis Allen will like Halsey because he's like Stooks is a guy who you feel comfortable playing in man coverage. Halsey, I think maybe could play in man coverage, but I don't know if that's is the best way to kind of use him. But he'd be the other safety I would consider because I just really love AJ Halsey personally. He's one of my guys. I just don't know how well he fits what the Bears want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a quarters safety, right? Like you want to condense zones for him, and you want to let him ball hawk from those condensed zones because that's like he doesn't have the best range, he doesn't have the best speed, but man, does he have a good feel for where the ball's going. So like you want to get him in that condensed area like quarters gives him, and say go get the football.
Yeah. So that's
and that's
I just
not
wanted
really
to make
Dennis
sure.
Allen.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we talked about him because I know a lot of people do project him to kind of the Bears,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what our thought process is. A good player, just probably not a good fit for the Bears.
Yeah.
And you know, as Ryan Poles here, I know DA likes versatility, you know, at the safety position. One of the reasons Kobe Bryant was so appealing. I think Stukes is more versatile. Correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, in terms of his play. So I think he would be my pick.
And, you know, Seth would be very upset if we didn't at least mention Zakee Wheatley because we could wait till 66 for Zakee Wheatley.
Could be on the board at 89, to be honest.
We don't have 89 anymore.
Oh, that's right. We don't have 89. Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you want the Nicky Manwari, Kyle Hamilton mold, I think Zakee Wheatley's your bet. And that's, I think, a lot of people are going for with EMW. But, like, I don't know. Penn State has a history with these guys, putting them in the league and them being successful. And Wheatley he's going to take some time. And I know that's probably the biggest selling point for Dennis Allen to Stukes over Wheatley, because I do think Wheatley's going to take time to get to where you can really be creative with him. But we just had to at least mention him because he's our safety scout's favorite player, arguably, in this class.
Yeah, and look, I'm riding Poles. I don't want to pay safeties big money, so I'd rather have a cheap safety that's good now rather than a safety that will take some time, and then when he's good, I have to pay him because I won't, and I'll just let him walk. So give me the guy that's better right now, and I'll take Stukes and plug
trade in Stukes. You are a bear.
All right, so now we're looking at Grayson Halton, right? That's kind of who we.
Yes.
I mean, we'll look at the board a little bit, but I think that's where I'm leaning.
Yeah, I agree. We need somebody on the defensive line at this point. Edge or tackle is fine. Whatever's higher on our big board. We just got to get some more bodies in there.
Yeah. So
I know you guys were down on the big citrus during your.
He's just a weird fit for this defense. Yeah. Like he doesn't fit very clean. Like, truly, I'll be honest. I don't think Dennis is going to like hearing this. Dennis don't give a shit about defensive tackles. He just doesn't.
Well, yeah. Do you think they would? I mean,
he wants guys who you can find on day 3. That's literally what he targets at defensive tackle. Guys who are under 300 pounds. He doesn't seem to care that much about arm length. Like, I don't think Dennis Allen cares that much about D tackle, and he's only taken 2 in the first round in his entire career, and that's because he probably saw them as like perfect fits. I'm not saying we shouldn't take Halton here. I'm just saying, I think this is a fine area to take Halton, but like, I wish we had more more like 4th round picks, because I'd rather take Caleb Proctor or I'd rather take Landon Robinson in the 4th or 5th.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. Where's go to defensive tackle in the PFSN simulator and see where are those guys projected to go? Do we have a pick in that range?
I mean, we have
128
is Proctor.
We have 129.
Yeah, and we have 129.
Well, here's another thing. What's stopping us from taking? What's stopping us from
double dipping
here and then another D tackle 129?
Yeah,
I think that's totally reasonable.
I think it is too. I don't see no reason we can't double dip. I mean, I know we probably want to get a center.
They have a lot of D tackles on the roster, but if you want to just say, hey, we're going to draft 2 guys here and whichever one wins out, that's going to be the guy. I think that's totally reasonable.
Yeah.
You know what's stopping us?
Did Landon Robinson go? I didn't see his name.
He's on there.
Oh, okay.
He's like 180 or something. Yeah, 180.
Oh, okay. That's low.
Tyreek Sapp. This guy really like it one.
Your boy, yeah.
personally.
Okay. Well, if we so if
But-
we don't take Halton here, who are we looking at? Because
He still might be the best value.
He's
Is there an
probably
edge
the
rusher?
top of our board.
yeah.
Center. I think Sam Heck's still here.
Oh, Sam Hecht is still there.
Sam Heck's still on the
fair.
board, and he's higher on our board. Let's see. None of these other guys matter.
If we don't take Sam Hecht here, who's the center that's available at 129?
We've got some options, actually, I think.
Yeah, there'll be options there. It's edge that's hanging me up, because I do think the edge options are like, we should grab an edge in my mind, but I'm not the GM here. But
So
Well, Denai Denison, I know, is low on our board.
yeah,
So
that's what I was going to
we'll
ask.
go with him.
You guys did not have him very high on your board, even though he's pretty high
Right.
here on the consensus. And I just don't see another edge.
I mean, it's really
available here.
we like whatever edge we're trying to get at 129. It's like Anthony Lucas, it's Tyreek Sapp. It's a guy like that. It's not someone who, like, denied us something could be long gone by the time we're talking about that.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, to me, it's Halton. I think he's in this tier. He's he's in this tier. We need a defensive lineman.
I think you're
He
right.
fits what Dennis Allen.
I
wants
agree.
to do.
Yeah.
As much as I
agree.
love
And
Sam Hecht, I do love Sam Hecht, but we can get Trey Zune at 129. I'd like that pick.
129 is going to be a brawl, man.
Yeah.
let's
Because
go
we
with
just- we
let's go
beat-
with let's go with Halton. I feel comfortable with that as well.
Okay. All right, now I'm assuming we're going to be moving on to tier 6 here,
Yeah.
at least, maybe tier 7.
Yeah, we're not picking for a while.
Yeah, that's the thing. We got this big
Because
gap.
tier 6 was our trade down, and tier 7 was at 87. So we're somewhere for tier 6 and tier 9 now.
Yeah, but we might
It
be
does get
higher.
more. Yeah, it does get more
Yeah.
questionable as far as like who's where on what board at this point. Too.
Yeah, I mean, but
We
I think
might have a guy
based
who
on our
we're
big
a lot
board, we've done
higher
pretty
on
well.
that drops.
We've actually done pretty well on our big board,
Yeah.
comparatively to what we've drafted. So as long as we feel comfortable in our evaluation, we're crushing this thing so far.
Yeah.
So
Caleb
we're
Proctor's still there.
What position? So we're looking at edge. We're looking at center, and maybe another D tackle. But
Yeah, I think another D, like there's going to be guys in the 7th round we're interested in a D tackle. I'm willing to take
Okay.
2 swings at that point and find out.
Yeah.
Personally, that's my thought process. But here,
All right.
Mr. Poles, what are you thinking? Sorry, I keep trying to drive it, Samir. You got to put me in my place.
No, you're good. You're good. Oh man, the center's really we thought we'd have some more options here. And it kind of dried up a little bit.
We are big Trey Zone people.
Yes,
Big
I was gonna
Trey
say
Zune.
Trey Zune he's on our big board. He's
72.
at 72. I think that's where we should go. Because I think we don't have anybody behind Bradbury. I think Newman played a little bit of center, right? Took some snaps at some point last year. I don't even know if he did or not.
I don't
I
think
think
so.
it maybe in training camp and preseason
Yeah.
he might have.
Right. So
The thing about
it's-
Zune as well is he could play left. He could potentially, you draft him here to be your center of the future. Would not surprise me if he just wins the left tackle job, because we've talked about this before. He's a good
Guys.
college left tackle.
What are we
I think
doing?
we have to pull the trigger. 3.93 RAS. You
3.93.
can't beat that.
Josh Krutz, man.
That's tough.
Bears royalty. Let's go. I would love for them to bring him into camp just for people to get all
They
hyped.
probably will. They probably will. But yeah, Zune.
Yeah.
I mean, he could potentially play left tackle for you if someone else wins that job. Then he's your center of the future. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I like Trey Zune there.
I want to
It's a
see
position
like
of need.
who are I want to see who the edges are that we have to choose from. I know they're probably going to be lower on our board, but I just want to see.
I think Lucas was the highest rated one.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be
Sapp,
too bad.
Sapp
I would.
isn't that far down our board from here either.
Yeah, I would probably prefer Tyreek Sapp over Lucas.
Like where?
Honestly,
And don't we have? Oh no,
we have 207. We have 207. So if
207.
maybe we can go for
Actually,
Zune and Sapp here and get two positions that we kind of need.
yeah.
But I guess 193. Maybe he'll make it to 207.
We could always trade up. We could always trade up.
Yeah.
202 package 239 and 207 to get up to 195 or something like that. I don't know.
Should we try to see if we can get up to 190 right now?
Well, let's if we're okay with Zune, we should take him and then let the simulator go, and then I think we have to see if he's stop it when it gets to like 195 if he's still available.
Okay.
I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's grab him. Let's grab our center.
All right. So we're looking for Tyreek Sapp.
Okay.
I mean, we should.
Tension's
I
killing.
I think everyone on the building the board team loves Tyreek Sapp. By the way, I mean this is a guy who's just super powerful and violent, and he's probably not going to be a great pass rusher, but he does. He can step the edge. He can stop around. You could probably move him inside on passing downs too. He's like 6'2".
Sounds a lot like Daya. Sounds a lot like Daya Odiengbo.
It's not too far off. But if you
similar,
if you could get Daya, oh man, we missed. He went
165.
We weren't going to trade up to 165.
No.
So
yeah.
Okay, well, we got to pivot. I think at this point we're not trading up. We're just going to let the board come to us.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Huge bummer, man.
Maybe someone will fall.
I will say
Vincent
Anthony, I haven't watched any of them, but George Gumbs Jr. is a Dennis Allen project. Like 33 and 5/8 inch long arms, 6'5". Yeah. He's underweight now, but like he's got the burst that Dennis Allen is looking for. And if he can add mass, he's got the length and the pure size, the frame to fill out more. And he's a Chicago kid.
And he's a position of need.
Yeah, I feel like we need to get an edge somewhere.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, I mean, Vincent Anthony kind of also fits that role. Same with Wesley Williams, to be honest. I mean, maybe a little less extent, but I don't know if I'm willing to trade up for like George Gumbs. I think if he's there at 207.
Oh yeah, no, I was sorry.
You had it paused, so I thought we were like contemplating a trade up.
Sorry, I paused it just to talk about it, and then I forgot.
Yeah.
But
I think Gumbs will be there.
Nick Banner.
He went to Simeon and then Northern Illinois before transferring to Florida.
Okay.
Ryan Poles loves those guys.
True.
Man.
All right, coming up. Let's see.
At this point, like
man, I just missed him.
We don't really need our board.
Oh my God. Again. Yeah.
That's a bummer. Jeez. All right. Well, I think we just go.
We've had this.
Oh my. Well, okay. Take Landon Robinson. This is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I think was he in tier? What tier was Landon Robinson in for us?
9,
which was like just outside
priority day 3.
Priority day 3. So you get him at 207.
Totally fine.
Easy run to the podium kind of pick.
Yeah.
Undersized tackle, but this guy can play.
I'm sure a lot of that comes down to Steve. Have you heard anything about his eligibility questions with like his service requirements?
No, I haven't heard anything about that. I think honestly, it's just it's a size thing. I think teams are just scared off by his size. Most teams don't have for that reason.
I thought I heard them talking on NFL Stock Exchange this week that some teams do have questions about his service requirements now.
Yeah,
that it might be in question.
It's possible, but I mean, he's on half the team's boards, and so that's part of it. That's why he's going to go later than maybe where we have him, because he's definitely going to be on the Bears board. And then the service requirements, that I have no information there, but I'm sure it's something teams are looking into.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you'd heard the same thing that like there are questions or not.
I've only heard it on NFL Stock Exchange. Like that's the only time I've heard it. Obviously, those guys are very plugged in, so they probably know more than us. But
okay,
all right.
Do we have any good value here? I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there an edge that makes sense? We still, I mean, at this point, I don't think we need to go with need. Vincent's.
No, I think we just go best player available. I'd like to see who's available from a skill position set as well. Is there value in a wide receiver spot or a running back?
I think wide receiver, like a speedy wide receiver here, could make sense if one's available. Xavier Thomas, I know, ran like a 4.38. I haven't really watched him, but I know he's fast. 5'11", 190 pounds.
Jay Michaels, I haven't watched any of Sturdivant, but I know that he ran a 4.4 at 6'3", 210. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Explosive. Like, I don't know if he's actually any good at football. I doubt he is. But like,
we don't have our wide receiver guys on the pod.
He put up almost 800 yards as a freshman.
I know he's been around for a while because
he's only gotten worse since then.
Yeah, I mean, he had a big year in 2022. I remember he was kind of, maybe it was 2023. He was kind of in the draft conversation at like UCLA and then never really did anything. But I don't know. There could be a variety of reasons for that. But he's clearly athletic and big. So in the 7th round, I'm fine with taking a guy who's just athletic and big.
Yeah, I looking at our depth chart here, obviously we got Rome, Luther, Khalif Raymond, Jade Walker's there. I don't know. I think I'd like another wide receiver in camp. I know it's probably an easy position to fill when camp cuts come along, but if we can get some guy that's got traits, let's work off those traits. So if he's in a good spot here, I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on this guy that is something that we don't have in our locker room.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, you think he can be a sacrificial X for you.
Right.
Okay. I like it.
Are there any other positions that or is just gonna? I mean, I'm fine with just going with him, but
Well, I think we need a running back as well at some point.
My boy Noah. I love Noah Whittington. But man, I also love Desmond Reed.
Yeah, Reed's so undersized though in his injury things. Like, I love him too.
Yeah.
Like, he has and does, like, Ben Johnson historically doesn't. I don't feel like he doesn't really use receiving running backs historically. So I mean, he throws to his running backs, but it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Every single picture has a scowl. That's a dog. That's a dog.
It's too.
I don't care if he's 5'7", 5'6", 170. That's a dog. When every single picture, he's got that mean mug on his face.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he's a dynamic receiver. Like, that guy. I mean, if you're in the 7th round, you want to find guys who could do one thing well and fill a role for you, and that's Desmond Reed for sure.
Does he return kicks, punts?
That's a good question. I can't remember. I'm sure he does. Like, why wouldn't you use him as a punt returner or kick returner?
Yeah.
Let me look it up real quick.
Where's his consensus?
He's had 18 punt returns in his career with 2 TDs. Yeah. So
all right. Khalif Raymond isn't getting any younger, so where's he projected? 263.
Yeah, he definitely is a great project.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can wait on him.
Yeah, do we want to go with those two guys? We got 2 picks back to back. Do we want to go Michael Sturdivant and Desmond Reed?
I think so. I don't think there's any defensive guys that are jumping off the page for us at this point. We got 2 defensive tackles. We took early swings on secondary. We got a linebacker. I think we're okay getting some speed on offense because we got some good players. LB3 has some speed, but none of our guys are burners, So I think let's get some speed on offense.
Pull the trigger.
Ben's yelling at me. He says,
honestly, I am very convinced that there's no way Ben Johnson gets out of round 2 without drafting a toy for himself, to be honest. Like a wide receiver, running back, something, or maybe at least day 3, or at least round 3. Like I am convinced that's going to happen. So,
all right, Desmond Reed,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not the GM.
Yeah. No, I was a little nervous early, but I think we did okay.
Yeah, I like this draft. I think this is a good example of your best laid plans of mice and men kind of situation. Like we really wanted to target edge. We wanted to get Malachi Lawrence. He went 2 picks before us. We wanted to get Tyreek Sapp. He went 40 picks before us. We wanted to get someone else.
Gabe Hawkins.
I
think Gabe Hawkins went a couple picks before us.
So, like, I think, like, we wanted to draft an edge. It just didn't work out that way. I know last year the Bears wanted to draft a running back. It just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, a couple picks
the board
before
just
every
doesn't
time.
fall the way you want, but I think we made the most of it. I like this draft.
Yeah, I think it's a good group. My ass is really chapped over not getting Sapp, but that's it's no one's fault. We tried.
I think if we could go back in time, I think I would have traded down from 57. And picked up like a 150, 160, like a pick in that range, because that kind of hurt us. But so we also traded on from 25. I don't think we wanted to do too many trades.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got some guys that can start, right? Colton Hood is going to start day 1. Trotter, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but he could push.
He's wearing the green dot. You're going to live with the ups and downs of it. He's your future at linebacker.
He's starting, but you're probably going to have to hide him a little bit as much as you can. Blitz him, a lot. Do what you can on third downs with him.
Stooks will start over Cam Lewis, right? Mm-hmm. So you've got 3 starters that you've drafted on the defensive side of the ball with the first 3 picks. Now you've got a rotational defensive tackle, 2 rotational defensive tackles with the next 2 of the next 3 picks, and then a future center, hopefully, and then more toys for Ben. So I think it's a very diverse draft. I think we tried to cover a lot of different things. Now, we get a lot of blue chippers, probably just 1, right, out of that draft. Colton Hood, I feel like, could be a blue chipper. I don't know about the other guys, probably not. But getting more than 1 blue chipper out of a draft is kind of selfish anyway. But
no, I think we don't do it. Like you said, you got 3 starters with your first 3 picks. Halton's going to come in, and he's going to be a big part of your rotation. He might not start, but he's going to be a heavy rotation. You have your center of the future, and just kind of like a backup offensive lineman. He could back up left tackle, guard, and center. So that's nice. And then a couple of high upside guys late in the draft. I like it.
I mean, we have 4 of our top 52 players, 5 of our top 72, and 6 of our top 100. It's hard to complain.
Yeah, getting Landon Robinson at 207, that was a steal. I know we wanted Sapp, but that almost even worked out better. I mean, Landon Robinson to me is a better player than Tyreek Sapp. So
all I know is that Cam Jordan, we're going to pay you whatever you want because we need it.
Yeah, well, come on down, Cam Jordan.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, that's why he's not signed. He's waiting to see who teams draft. And I'm sure the Bears have been in contact and say, hey, if we don't get an edge, come to Chicago. And I'm sure he would. He'd probably want to reunite with Dennis Allen. So that would be a perfect person to bring in as a stopgap. And then next year, first round pick, edge, lock it in.
Yeah. This is actually pretty
or left tackle.
If they sign Cam Jordan, yes. Or left tackle, you're right. If they sign Cam Jordan in the offseason, I think this would be good. Like we've got, there's obviously room for improvement in certain position groups, but there's like no glaring holes, I don't think, that we're like.
Can we do an exercise just to humor me for a second?
Yeah.
If let's say we did take Malachi Lawrence at 35, who is the cornerback that would have been available at 57? Can you see the full draft? Just to see
that's true, yeah.
How it would have been different if we went with our other choice at 35. So who was on the board at 57 at cornerback?
Stooks was the first one off. It was really a safety.
Yeah, right.
That was us.
Keith Abney, who I do think if they wait, is a real option for them if they wait. He doesn't really fit the mold, but I don't know. I just think Dennis Allen's going to like the way he plays.
Davison, I don't know about his name. He's not. I don't like his tape, but I think he fits what the Bears want. I don't like his tape either, but I like Will Lee. If you scroll up, he's like 92 or something, 93. Will Lee the third. I really like Will Lee. I think he fits as well.
Malik Muhammad went as well.
Yeah, I think Muhammad also fits.
Julian Neal, I mean, he fits the the Nashon Wright mold.
Right. So I think so. I do think there were some corners that are decent there. I mean, I like Colton Hood and I like what we did, but I just think it's kind of cool just to see what we could have done if we went with our other choices.
Well, as the draft was unfolding, I was thinking the same thing, Steve. I was like, oh man, did I make the right decision there? Just based on positional and team need. But to me, Hood, I've just seen him as more of a blue chip guy than Lawrence. I mean, Lawrence fit a bigger position of need, but it was more of a BPA because we traded back and
we didn't know there was going to be that huge run on edge. I mean, Derek Moore went 53, Malachi Lawrence went 55. Sometimes you just can't predict it. Like if Gabe Akis went 47, if any of those guys, if Akis or Moore would have been there, it would have been a great.
Moore would have been an easy pick there too.
Yeah, exactly. So you never know.
Yeah, I can say this easily because I'm a trench guy who's just trying to understand defensive back play. But I mean, based on my eyes, I wouldn't be shocked if in a few years you're looking back and people are saying, how the hell did Colton Hood not go earlier? Like I'm not understanding why he's being ranked where he's ranked.
Sure. I know
that was actually a good trade for us because those are the two players we were looking at 25 and they were both still available at 35. So that trade was actually pretty good for us.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Samir, any final thoughts? What was difficult in this? What was more difficult than you might have expected it to be?
Well, what was the most of it is like you kind of have an idea or you think you have an idea of who's going to be available when. And then when it's not, you very quickly have to pivot to something else. And that was a little difficult, and I've done a bunch of these. I sent you one earlier, right? Q that I did. And I was like, oh, I love this. This is great. And you're like, okay, this might work out the exact same way every single time I do it. And it's like, nope, it didn't, and it was interesting to see it. And the runs, man, the runs of players like position groups kills you because we did it a couple times to ourselves. There was a bunch of edges available and we're like, okay, we can wait. Same thing with the centers. Okay, we can wait. And all of a sudden you go back and it's all dried up. So that was a little frustrating. And then what do you do after that? Because you need somebody in that group, but are you going to reach or are you going to try to trade back? So that was a little frustrating, and we felt it as fans, like you mentioned, Steve, last year with the running back position. It's like, all right, yeah, Omar, Hampton or whoever, and then Travion Henderson. Oh, we're not going to get that guy. Oh, Scadaboo just went, and it just kept going down and down and down. So that can be a little bit frustrating, but I don't know. I'm happy with the way it turned out. It's not how I thought it would turn out. I thought for sure within those first 3 picks, we would end up with somebody along the defensive line. And here we are. We got, 3 off the ball players. So, but 3 starters.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun doing it this way because, I do, 15 mock drafts a day on my own. I'm constantly just running mock drafts. And I found myself, you do these mock drafts. I'm just constantly drafting the same guys over and over again.
Yeah.
So it's fun to do it with a group of people because we drafted guys that I usually don't draft Colton Hood. I usually don't draft Josiah Trotter. So you draft guys that you don't always draft, but I even still though, I really like this draft class.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about doing it this way is it forces me to get out of my head and think more strategically about it. Like when I'm just doing them in passing, I'm not thinking that strategically about it. I'm just kind of like messing around with it. With this, I feel like we really have to put a plan together of like, if this happens and this happens and that, like it's much more realistic, I think, in that front.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, thank you guys so much for joining me to do this here tonight, to do our first mock draft of the season. Samir, Steve, everyone should go follow you guys at SM Patel 06 on Twitter, at CFC Bears for Steve on Twitter. And gentlemen, why don't we give a good old fashioned bear down and we'll get out of here.
Bear down.
Bear down.